Barrow of Accorda or Strasbourg, Gnohok, Simul. Again, quite an interesting week. And the big news, of course, this week is that we see the end of roaming charges. These were charges that were added to people when they went abroad, made a call, received a call even, text message, data downloading. Massive sums years ago. We fought it tooth and nail here in the European Parliament, and thankfully over a period of years it has been reduced by over 90%. June the 15th is the magic date when you can roam like at home. That's a wonderful win for European Union citizens, and I must take special pride in it because I've been involved in it since I became an MEP with many more like-minded MEPs. Good news story. Also in the Parliament this week I was speaking about the effort sharing regulation. This did not work out too well for Ireland. As a result, I tabled what they call a split vote so we could make a stance on one of the areas we were most worried about. That was in relation to the 2020 target which we had to start on, and that meant that we were non-compliant from the start. The IFA estimates that that could cost us €1 billion in taxpayers' money just to be compliant. We felt this was wrong. Many other MEPs agreed with us. It was unfair in an agricultural country. The targets as set originally were unfair. There was no allowance made for forestry, and I think we will fight this to the bitter end because we want to definitely commit to climate change. We're going to do so as a country. We're going to reach our targets in 2030, but how we get there has to be fair for us, the same as every other country. So, a battle lost, but the war goes on. Also, I'm continuing to work on the renewable energy file. This has taken a lot of energy, a lot of time, all sorts of people coming here to Parliament in Strasbourg and Brussels, meetings in Dublin, meetings in Limerick, trying to get a good balance. We're working on that. Renewable energy is going to be vital if we are to meet our climate targets in relation to COP21, but also it's going to be good for the Irish economy because we do not want to be continuously importing fossil fuels, diesel and oil, using coal for our energy. So this is going to be a transition. We're going to do it, and now we're going to try and get a balanced approach here in Parliament. That's ongoing and will be at least until the end of the year. Another good story, I think, is that I spoke on Monday night on energy efficiency labelling. This is the labels that are put on household appliances, especially washing machines, dishwashers, you name it. Before now, there was a rather crazy system. It was A+, A++, A++, and of course you cannot get higher than an A, as I pointed out. That's been replaced now by an A to G, so that when people go into buying an appliance, they will see which is good and which is bad. And that's very important because, again, by having an efficient labelling system, you will get an appliance that will actually cost you less money in the long term because it will lose less energy and also, of course, be more efficient. Another good news story this week is that we are celebrating what they call Erasmus. Erasmus is a program whereby people can go abroad to be educated. It was expanded last year to Erasmus Plus to take in things like coaching and sport, which I was fully in favour of. About 9 million Europeans have benefited from it, and I think it's something I would recommend to every young person. If you get a chance to study abroad, you should do so. We did some collaboration with UCC and UL students when they were out here, be it in Strasbourg or Brussels. We brought them into the office to give them work experience. It's all part of Erasmus, a very good programme. We had another difficulty this week in relation to glyphosate, which was banned unnecessarily, and we spoke strongly about it. I spoke in Parliament about it. I said that if we have not one, but 2 European agencies say that it is a safe product to use it, why would we ban it? What's the alternative? What are we going to do to keep the weeds down in arable farms, weeds down in horticultural areas, weeds down even in public gardens? That is something that is also ongoing, but I think we got the message across because again you have to be sensible and practical in your approach. Too many people here are just idealistic and do not think of the consequences. And finally, on Wednesday, word came through that Leo Varadkar had been elected Taoiseach of Ireland. My group in particular, the DPP, but I would say all MEPs, welcomed his election. A young man with a very intelligent approach to life, very sensible approach to life, a very sporting approach to life, who will do a great job, I think, for Ireland, and also, of course, follow in the footsteps of Enda Kenny, who gave tremendous leadership for so many years as a leader of Fine Gael, and of course also for 7 years as Taoiseach. To both, good wishes from the European Parliament. Leo will follow seamlessly into the footsteps of Enda. Enda can be proud of his achievements. We look forward to supporting Leo and indeed also his deputy Simon Coveney as we move forward with the challenges that are coming down the track. Gwn ni maith go bh corda agus cíime sé bharis.